We have years post-Endgame now of failure after failure after failure after failure. Collectively, $1 to $2 billion of losses collectively at the box office with phases 4 and 5. Even when you throw in the big dogs out there, like the one-offs of Deadpool and Wolverine, that, again, just like Hulu, they spent $70 billion to get their hands on. Those one-offs don't make up for what Disney has spent to invest to buy the rights to even do these things to begin with. Same thing with Hulu.
Renegade Online.
Paul, when you look at this number, Marvel has not managed to break $500 million this year on any single film.
Right.
They've got the Avengers coming out. I think every single person that has ever worked in Hollywood is going to be on that roster in that cast. So, Paul, what is the cost? How are they getting people to come back for an amount that can make this make sense for them financially?
It really made no sense at all business-wise. Right after Endgame, they should have recast everybody, do a James Bond flip of everyone, bring in new people, very much like James Gunn did with Superman, right? I mean, it's the risk that you take, and then just do individual comic book movies until you get your act together again. I wouldn't have run it the way they ran it. Doesn't mean that I would have been more successful, but I think the evidence is that it's been incompetently, visionlessly run.
Well, you know, it looks like to me, Valiant, they've got, 20 plus people that command a significant salary going into this next movie, and I just don't see how, they need a lot of money to justify that, and I don't see where they're getting confidence that they can earn a lot of money anymore.
No, we talked about this before, and taking all of the Marvel fanboyism off the table for a second, and just looking at the money, right? That's all I want to look at. And I mean, as much as I'm not going to tell you that Superman was a massive flop. Although at the box office, it's not going to make money. It's going to lose money, but they'll make it up on the back end with their Mattel deal. They'll make it up with their PVOD sales, which is why I think they did it. And I'm not going to clown them too hard for this because Warner Brothers has had such an exceptional year of profitability at the box office outside of this, right? We'll see where this new DC universe goes. I think the jury's still out. That being said, we can't say the same thing about Marvel. And this is the difference because we have years post-Endgame now of failure after failure after failure after failure. Collectively, $1 to $2 billion of losses collectively at the box office with phases 4 and 5. Even when you throw in the big dogs out there, like the one-offs of Deadpool and Wolverine, that, again, just like Hulu, they spent $70 billion to get their hands on. Those one-offs don't make up for what Disney has spent to invest to buy the rights to even do these things to begin with. Same thing with Hulu. You look at what's coming up with Doomsday, and I would only have to presume that they're going to, from a business perspective, a financial perspective, they're going to structure the business side of Doomsday and Secret Wars as they did with Infinity War and Endgame, meaning you'll have one single production entity, LLC or LTD Limited in the UK, where they're filming this at Pinewood, that will encompass both films. Ladies and gentlemen out there in the audience, you know the answer to this. How much money, according to Disney's own reporting, that they actually spent, their actual expense logs that they submitted to the UK government for that production entity for Infinity War and Endgame? What is the total for those two films? Not including marketing, just everything that Disney allocated in terms of what they said was a production cost for those two films. $1.3 billion.
Wow.
Is what Disney spent, according to their own filings, not estimates, not reserve a tax credit for us, but what they spent according to their filings after the fact of production. $1.3 billion is what Disney spent to make, not market, just make Infinity War and Endgame.
Wow.
If anybody thinks that you got Doomsday coming with every actor that has ever set foot in a Marvel production, and then Secret War after that, with every actor, I guess, again, that has ever set foot in a Marvel production, apparently, except the Eternals. If you think that's going to come in for less than $1.5 billion, maybe $2 billion, you're kidding yourself. They are going so overboard because they think this is all we need to get back on track. The problem at Disney and the problem with Kevin Feige is that they've been touting that cry, that battle cry for the last 4 years, and it hasn't happened. This next one will get us there. This next one will get us back on track. This TV show will make it happen. This movie will make it happen. None of them have made it happen. They're now sailing into the abyss, right? This is Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. They're going over the edge or whatever of maybe that was the second one, Dead Man's Chest. They're going over the edge. They're going into the netherworld. Yeah, this is it. And they're just, woo! They're just sailing away. I mean, it's Slim Pickens riding the nuclear bomb in Doctor Strangelove.
Well, think about what the plan was. The plan was to have Brie Larson lead the films for the last 3 phases. She was supposed to take on Jonathan Majors as Kang, right? That was the original plan, and everything screwed up to the point that by the time we got here, they thought that they could have the Thunderbolts and the new Captain America, whoever his Avengers are. I still don't know who those people are, but those 2 groups go up against the Fox X-Men, and you throw RDJ in, and you got to win. Now, they've decided that cast of like 20 people just isn't going to be able to carry water. They've already got them signed. So what are you going to do? Call Hugh, baby. Hugh Jackman, we got to get you teamed up with Tom Holland as fast as possible. And can we get Andrew Garfield in here? Can we get Tobey Maguire? Anybody? Is there anybody left who has possibly ever played a role in a superhero film? Get in here now.
It'd be really funny if Garfield the cat shows up and the director is, I said Garfield, not Garfield the cat. God damn it.
Well, at least we've got Chris Pratt in the credits then.
So you got to give Gunn credit that you're better off grooming, and I hate to use that word, a new group of actors,
adult actors, not those kind of adult actors, different kind of adult actors,
take over and hopefully carry things on. I mean, I would say that David Cornsweet and Rachel Brosnahan, people are still buzzing about them. There's a lot of goodwill, I think, around them that I think people are going to be very excited about seeing what they're going to do next. As much as I like the Thunderbolts, I would love to see another Thunderbolt movie, but it's never going to be a big movie. Like, they shouldn't spend more than, $100 million on that, and it would be fine. It'll be, $80 million Thunderbolts movie would be absolutely fine. But Gunn has managed to create a really good crew with Peacemaker, even the Guardians of the Galaxy is owned by Marvel. But we kind of have an idea, between Nathan Fillion and Hawkgirl and Supergirl, that some interesting things are going to happen. Reassembling a bunch of the old actors in Marvel to try to bring people to the theater is a failed strategy.
Well, the other thing too is for Superman, it looks to me like, for all the complaints about the box office, it did pretty darn well domestically. It's the international markets that fell off for it. They've got to fix that. They got to find a way to get that working. I'm less concerned about the box office, and I'm more concerned about the twinkliness that David and Rachel have. Oh, yeah, they've got chemistry.
They have chemistry.
Yeah,
and that, to me, I can build on that. You, please, either of you two, please tell me any kind of chemistry that came out of Fantastic Four or the Thunderbolts that they can really, really build on to make $1 billion movie.
Stalker vibes. Yeah. Right. I mean, I look at Pedro Pascal, right? And I feel like he should be one of the dancers for the Minnesota Vikings right now.
I would watch him in the remake of Smokey and the Bandit.
Hey, he's got a good stash.
But no. Burt Reynolds is now Pedro. I mean, he might look the part, but no.
Pedro can act. I didn't mind him as Reed.
I mean, the problem is
that's a different discussion. I don't want to argue about that. The point is that the cabinet is empty at Marvel. That's really the point.
Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.